Hi, everyone. You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Carrie Diamond, coming to you from my apartment in Brooklyn. Today's guest is Britton Smith, one of my favorite New Yorkers. Britton is an actor, singer, band leader, writer, activist, and Tony Award winner. He and I met working in restaurants in Brooklyn. Britton grew up in Texas, thinking he might be a pop star like Usher one day. He moved to New York City for college and wound up on Broadway, performing in shows such as Shuffle Along and After Midnight. He won a special Tony Award in 2020 for his work as a founding member of the Broadway Advocacy Coalition. Britton is also the frontman of the band Britton The Sting. They just dropped their new album titled Return to Mama. Britton and I talk about his career, his activism, heated rivalry, of course. We cannot let a week go by without talking about heated rivalry. And we chat restaurants and something he calls stepmom milk. Yes, stepmom milk. You might even have it in your own refrigerator. Stay tuned. This interview was recorded at Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center. Britton and I met when he was starting out and working as a server, and I was a newbie restaurateur who kind of had no idea what I was doing. It was clear Britton was destined to be a star. Me, maybe not a restaurant star. I've been writing a Substack series for Cherry Bombe about those days called So You Want to Open a Restaurant. The first 2 installments are live, and you can read them for free at cherrybombe.substack.com. The link is in our show notes. The restaurant world is tough, as so many of you know, but folks like Britton made it enjoyable and special. Thank you to Square for supporting our series. Before we check in with Britton, enjoy this clip of Britton The Sting performing Draw Me from their new album.
Draw me, draw me, draw me. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
Britton Smith, welcome to Radio Cherry Bombe.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. I mean, we really have never had the chance to sit down and talk like this.
Ever, and now we're doing it in front of a microphone. This is great.
And one of your first podcasts, your first one in person,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Let's jump right in and talk about the Broadway Advocacy Coalition, because I think there are some parallels to Cherry Bombe with this, and we both saw something we wanted to change, and we went for it. So tell us what it is and how it all came about.
We started, and by we, I mean a bunch of Broadway actors. We were in a show called Shuffle Along. Shuffle Along was a show it was actually a revival from the first big black show, 1920s on Broadway, with like all these huge stars. And they redid it with this amazing director, George C. Wolfe. Savion Glover was choreographing, Audra McDonald, all these huge, big black Broadway names.
That was like superstar upon superstar upon superstar.
I mean, a full cast of stars. So we're in this show, and it's at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2016. And I just was like, I can sing, I can dance, I can do so many things. And I also feel like I don't know how to participate politically. I don't even know what to do other than protest and write something on Instagram, but I wasn't feeling alone in that. And so a bunch of Broadway artists were like, let's build our capacity. Let's find lawyers and people who understand policy and law to tell us what is actually going on that we can see as injustice, but like what's actually happening in the policy. And I was not a good student. I never thought about law and policy, but it just led to a partnership with Columbia Law. So Columbia Law School partnered with a bunch of unorganized artists on Broadway, and we talked and we built this curriculum that's still taught at Columbia Law. I was an adjunct professor at Columbia Law in 2017 with this methodology that taught how artists, advocates, people who were previously incarcerated, and lawyers can get it on a table and like cross-learn from each other, create art, create workshops that build our capacity to figure out what can you do politically with the tools you naturally have. If you're doing a podcast, can that be for the movement? If you're singing, can that be for a movement? And it really taught me that if you want to do something for a movement, you should really work with people who are already doing that work, who need your gift. So you kind of want to collide your gift with their expertise. And so it's still going on. 2016, and what is that, like almost, oh my God, 10 years? That's crazy.
Oh, it's the 10-year anniversary.
That's crazy. Oh my God, yeah.
That's remarkable.
It's really great.
What do you feel like you achieved in the beginning?
I think we were able to, first of all, build our own capacity. I feel like now I know, as an artist who wants to matter outside of entertainment and in the realm of critically thinking about where we live and how we got here and then trying to create things that move us forward. I wasn't thinking that way before BAC. I also feel like we were able to challenge the entire theatrical landscape to think about the things that no one wanted to talk about. Nobody even had the language to begin to think. I mean, this is pre-DEI. Broadway shows don't have HR. So there's not really a place for anybody to talk about systems or problems. Before our work, no one on Broadway could do anything beyond texting their friends. Like, can you believe that director just told me blank? I can't believe. So it made Broadway see, whoa, we're really missing the mark. And we never even thought about a pathway because we're just making art and community. And it's like, no, 2020 made us different. And what our work was able to do was hold hard conversations about what got us here and like what can we do to do better. So we did a lot of workshops, a lot of trainings, a lot of hard conversations, a lot of building relationships. We're more advocating for actors to see themselves as change agents outside of the theatrical lens, right? Like we're like, if we can build your capacity to see yourself as a change agent in the world, you'll inherently see yourself different in rehearsal and backstage and on stage. If you can stand up for that person over there who her child doesn't have access to AP books because they live in a neighborhood in a district that doesn't have money. If you can advocate for them, you can really advocate for yourself because these problems on Broadway are not as big as the actual problems in the real world, which is like 2 stops away from us on the train.
What would you still like to see change on Broadway?
I'd like to see more people of color in positions of power because that's where a lot of, first of all, money is made, decisions are made. That's where the real power is. And if there are more people who look like me in positions of power, I feel like other people who look like me are going to be more interested in being in that space. They'll feel more welcome. They'll feel like, oh, this is a place where I belong.
I'm thinking parallels to restaurants. It would be the person who owns the restaurant, the people who invest in restaurants, the head chefs in restaurants.
Exactly. Very similar. The people who, first of all, own the land itself. So theater owners are the biggest levers of power because they basically are landlords. And if you want to be on Broadway, if you have the best show, you can have the singingest people, the dancingest dancing, the greatest show. But if you can't get that landlord to put it in there, you're not going to have what you want to have.
And there are X number of theaters.
And so they get to decide what's going to be the best thing in my building. Yeah, so they have a lot of power. And then it trickles down to like the producers because they're the ones galvanizing that startup. Like a restaurant, I think every theater show is its own startup. And so they all have their own business entity. They all are wrapped up in like their own, my business is said show. And then they take that product business to said theater owner and say, hey, here's my business plan for this being successful in your building.
So interesting. And I guess thank God for off-Broadway.
Yeah, but you know,
and off-Broadway, right?
Similar though. There is a lot of similarities, and then it goes into a nonprofit structure where then some of these theaters are doing great work, are having to raise millions and millions of dollars every year to even sustain themselves, and a lot of that federal support, bye-bye, baby.
See, stuff we don't even know about. So the Broadway Advocacy Coalition is still going strong today.
Yes.
You were one of the founders. You're not involved anymore. But 10 years, that's amazing.
It is amazing. Really wild. From a seed of like curiosity to like a full-fledged 10-year advocacy art organization. It's crazy.
What did that show you about yourself and what you were capable of?
That I'm a question boy with a lot of curiosity and a lot of fuel to like find resolve and answers. And like, I'm very interested in being connected with people who have a similar fuel of solutions. I don't want to sit at a table and cry, and I don't want to sit at a table and suffer for too long. I want to do that, feel that, and then quickly transform that table into a solution-based, how are we gonna, where are we gonna, when are we gonna? And to be at a table with people like that, it just wakes me up in the morning. Really, I love it. I love
that. Okay, let's talk about this Tony, because babe, you won a Tony. And when I found that out, I was just like, unbelievable. I mean, believable, but amazing. I think amazing is the better word.
Unbelievable for me still. It's wild. It's just insane.
You were on that stage.
I was on that stage.
Yeah, tell us how that all came to be.
I got a call from someone that said, hi, my name is blank. I don't want to say the person's name. Hi, my name is blank. I work for the special Tony committee, and you're going to get a call by blank, who is the president of blank, and you're going to win a Tony Award for the work that you're doing, and we're very appreciative of. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Hi, my name is blank. Like I said, we decided that you, and so that, to me, I didn't even know it worked like that. There's a table of people who are deciding every year who to give a special Tony Award to. And that year, David Byrne won a Tony Award also for American Utopia.
Such a good musical.
So good. So good. Yeah, it just blew my mind. And like, you know, I came to New York because I was like, I'm an actor and I'm going to get a Tony Award for acting. And really, I got a Tony Award for being like an instigator. And I got a Tony Award for making people think and stop and pause and reflect and change the table to a solution-based table. And I mean, that's just wild to me. And like, I was such a bad student growing up. And a lot of the things that I'm being celebrated for now as a kid growing up in Texas, it was like, bad boy, stop doing that, stop questioning, stop da-da-da. And so that Tony Award was also really affirming that like there is something really sacredly defiant in me that will contribute in a really unique way of service beyond just performance, which was not a part of my plan at all. So it shocks me. Even talking about it with you here, I'm like, wait, did that happen? Did that happen?
Isn't it funny when you kind of gaslight yourself? You're like, I know that happened, but did it happen?
Did that happen? It happened.
I can't even imagine the phone call. But then you attended the Tonys and got up on stage. What was that like?
Yeah, I just felt a big rush of excitement, shock, and I really felt like my ancestors were like very present. I felt my ancestors were like around me, standing in bright gold power, being like, well done, you young motherfucker, let's go. Like, yes. And I look at photos and I look like the ancestors are also flowing through my body in this like brightness. I mean, I just felt it was incredible. I don't even know what to say. I've never felt that level of like thunder, lightning. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Wow. Well done, my friend.
Thank you, friend.
That is so special. Did you each get a Tony?
So how it works is they give the organization a Tony, and then we were able to purchase. So I have one at home because honestly, we kept one in the office, and then someone, like a donor, was like, no, you need one. And so they gifted me one. I know.
Oh, how special.
So I have one at home.
Oh, my gosh.
It's also a flex when you're dating someone new to be like, so here's my kitchen. That's my blender. That's my Tony. That's my room. And they're like, wait. He's like, yeah, so.
Oh, I love it. That's incredible. All right, let's talk a little bit more about Broadway. What was your first role on Broadway?
My first role on Broadway was After Midnight. That was awesome.
And what'd you do in the play?
I was in a jazz quartet. It was a play based on the Cotton Club Parade in the 1920s. So I was just like Harlem Night. I was like a jazz man, and I like sang jazz, and I wore like really beautiful clothes, and I got dressed every night. I got my wig put on every night with Patti LaBelle. I sat next to Patti LaBelle every night for our wig call, where they put on our wig, and she would just talk and tell stories, and she was like, hey, Britton. I was like, hey, Miss Patti. It was crazy. So that was my first show. I think I was like 21.
You know what's breaking my heart? That was kind of before Instagram Reels and TikTok, because you could have made a TikTok with Patti LaBelle every night.
I could have TikTok with Patti LaBelle. That's crazy. Beautiful experience. Really beautiful. Yeah.
How do you deal with stage fright? Is that even a thing when you're a professional?
More so in theater than in music, yeah. Because theater needs you to be so on, even for safety. If you are supposed to be on, the stage is counted, in the middle is 0. And then outside of 0 from left to right is like 2 and then 4. And they'll tell you, okay, so Britton, you're going to come say your line. You're going to walk to stage 6, stage left, 6. If you're on 4, that could be like a chandelier coming down. So you really have to not only just be excellent and vibrant and charismatic and honest, but you have to be like a robot of efficiency, because you could hurt yourself or somebody.
So you could be great, but not be able to do that stuff. And
you won't be able to do it on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to do it on Broadway. If you can't be on 6, they're going to be like, girl, you're singing great, but that's a couch coming in 3 minutes. And you're singing where a couch is supposed to go. You're going to ruin the show if this couch hits you in front of everybody. So we need you to do it on 6. Cry on 6, or you're in the wrong spot.
I have this image of this flying couch crashing into somebody on stage. That's fascinating. I had no idea about the blocking or whatever you call that.
Yeah.
So that was your first role. That's a big deal.
First role. Yeah.
Gosh.
And you know what's crazy? I was working at Wilma Jean when I got that call.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about how we work together. All right. Tell me about the most special role you've had on Broadway, if that's even possible to pick one, or just one you want to shout out.
The last show I did was called Be More Chill. I played Jake Dillinger. It was about kids in high school finding themselves, learning to love themselves through their own weird identities. And I just met two people who have been like my family ever since. Stephanie Hsu, who was an Oscar nominee for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I met her in that show. And Tiffany Mann, who is an incredible singer, actress, friend. She's in my band now. She's starring in Dreamgirls as Effie. Like, they're both just incredible human beings who, like, I can call daily sitting on a toilet, being like, girl, what are you doing? How are you? And we just see each other in such a beautiful way. So the show brought me them, and, like, that's just huge. It's just bigger than the show.
You mentioned moving to New York and growing up in Texas. This is a part of your history I don't know, and you wouldn't tell me beforehand. You're like, you can find out on air. So where in Texas did you grow up?
So I'm from Dallas. Legend has it that my abusive father forced me, my mom, and my brother to move to San Antonio when I was 2. So I moved to San Antonio. I was in San Antonio, Texas from like 2 to like 13. My mom kicked me out of the house. She thought I had an orgy. It wasn't an orgy.
At 13?
Yes. It was me, one guy, and one girl. And she was like, this is too much for me. Go live with your dad in Dallas. That ended up being not cool because his own journey with drugs and then incarceration. So now I live with my grandparents. So I lived with my grandparents all of high school before I moved to New York in 2008.
And what were your grandparents like?
Oh, my God.
If I can ask.
Grandma Ada and Grandpa Chester. They didn't even have room for me. I slept in the living room. And they were like, come on in. What was cool about it is that it gave me this identity. Like, I live with my grandparents. I don't have a mom or a dad. I'm a bad, bad boy. And so I had a lot of fun with that identity. And they basically were just like, go to school, don't get arrested, please, we're old, just can you please behave? And I had so much energy and like anger and like rage and like, I was just a mess. And they just like were just a place to land every night.
And they just loved you unconditionally?
Yo, big love. Big love. Yeah. And I went to an arts high school in Texas called the Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts, which like changed the whole trajectory.
I was going to say another thank God that you even had an art school.
Yeah, which I wouldn't have had in San Antonio. So I'm actually like, yo, Mom, thank you for being like, get out of here, go live in. It just like all led me to this school. That school led me to New York, and yeah.
Did you know you had certain gifts before you got to that school?
Singing and writing, always. Yeah, I was writing music since I was like 5. Always just kind of writing songs. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you get to that school. What did you gravitate toward?
So you have to audition to get into the school. It's one of those schools, I think they call them like magnet schools, where kids from all over the surrounding area audition and get in. So they had an orchestra program, they had a dance program, they had a vocal music program, they had a theater program. I auditioned for the orchestra because I played the violin. In Texas, I don't know what it was. They gave a bunch of free violins to a whole bunch of hood kids. So, like, you will meet somebody in Texas right now, sitting on the street, smoking weed, drinking whatever, and they may be able to play the violin. You never know. They may have had an orchestra teacher. I don't know what it was about that time. They just gave away violin. So I'm playing by ear. I'm just loving this song. He's like, I'm going to go to this school and play in the orchestra. And then the head of the program was like, well, how'd you learn this music? And I was like, I just heard it and like learned it. And she was like, I think you're a singer. You should go to the choir because you don't know how to read music. And a lot of these students who are coming in have been going to lessons since they were like 5. And so she walked me over to the choir and she was like, sing for this woman. And she was like, yeah, I'll take them. And I got into the school to be in the vocal performance.
That was all during the audition.
Yeah.
That happened. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Just tell us briefly about school. Did you sing, act, dance?
The program was in clusters and you kind of had to stick in your cluster. So I had voice lessons. We were in a choir. We did choir competitions. And then sometimes the music would do something with the theater. And so they would do like a musical. And that was my first taste of, I kind of like acting. By junior year, I was into theater, but never as much as I was into like writing music and being in the band with the students there. And the students were incredible. This was a school where like kids were going to Juilliard after. Kids were going to like the top universities around the country because our faculty was just incredible.
When you were playing violin, did you dream one day of being in an orchestra, or did you?
No.
What were you thinking?
I thought I was going to be Usher, to be completely honest. I'm Usher. I'm going to be a pop star. I am fucking Usher. I'm going to play this violin. I'm going to sing songs and dance in my room. I dreamed of being seen as a music artist.
And all through high school, the same?
Yeah, all through high school, the same. Yeah. Even when I was auditioning for colleges, I kind of did it because one of my closest friends was super into theater, and she was like, I'm going to go to all these universities. And I was like, oh my God, this is my way out of Texas. Yeah, me too. I'm going to go to all these universities. So I copied her applications to get into all these schools. I didn't really dream of being on Broadway. Not really.
Did you go to any of those schools?
Yeah, I went to Pace here.
Okay. Oh, we've had a lot of Pace grads on the podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah. A bunch of food people went to Pace.
Really?
Interestingly. But Pace isn't known for anything sort of artsy or theatrical.
I think it's mostly known for like business,
yeah.
Right? And the theater program there was new when I got there. It's since grown to be really great. I had better teachers in my high school, I'll tell you that.
But that's interesting. I didn't even know Pace had a theater program.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good that it's better today. So you wind up in New York. Was it a dream to come to New York?
Dream. Now that was a dream. Like, oh my God. And it honestly didn't feel like a dream that was attainable, just financially, and like from my grandmother's couch to like New York that was a big leap. And school was just super supportive, and I had scholarships and angel donors who like closed the gap. That was a huge miracle hurdle to just like be like, okay, I'm going to be here for at least 4 years. Stayed in dorms the whole time. Yeah.
Downtown, right?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah, I've walked past some of the buildings. My office is down there. What was it like when you got here? Did you feel you made the right decision?
Oh my God, immediately. New York is amazing. And when you're 17, 18, it's just so much possibility, and the collision of like allness. It's just so tasty and really inspiring. It makes you feel like you really have a chance of grabbing a hold of whatever you think is yours. It also taught me like what I am not, you know. Theater will tell you, you can be everything. But then when you move to New York, you're like, no, there are people who can dance for real, who can like levitate. I can't levitate. And wow, there are people in my class who can really fucking do that. It also showed me like, helped me see where my lane was.
Where was your lane?
For booking work was honestly like jazz specific, handsome, young, black, tall, Harlem man. Like, it was so specific, but I was getting work and I was like, great. And you know,
did you start auditioning for Broadway right away? I
started auditioning for Broadway out of senior year of college. Did pretty well. Like, yeah. But in that lane. But even in that lane, you're like, oh man, I want to do more. But the lane can get you work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You seem like such a New Yorker now. Like, it didn't even cross my mind that you were from somewhere else.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've been here since I was 18.
I never picked up a Texas accent or anything
it comes out when I'm around family and when I'm, like New York is this weird, energetic tornado where like, I'm like, who am I here? I'm the same person, but when I'm on the beach or around the world somewhere else, I think something else is available. I don't know. Definitely in Texas, though.
Let's talk about a few more Broadway things. You were a swing in Shuffle Along. Bridget on Team Cherry Bombe wanted me to ask you about that because she's been a dancer, and apparently being a swing is something very special and challenging.
It's horrible. Oh. It is horrible.
She didn't use the word horrible, but go ahead.
It's for somebody. So, first of all, a swing is that person who sits backstage, has learned 4 roles, and at any moment is ready to go on for any of those 4 roles, both in talent and performance. If you do too much as a swing, it's not helpful for all the other people who are there every night. So you kind of have to frame your performance in a way that's helpful for the machine. So you're really a valuable cog in the machine for emergencies, which I hated.
And emergencies happen. School of Rock, saw it with all my nieces and nephews. And after intermission, there was a new lead.
That was somebody.
They didn't tell us why.
Can you imagine being backstage, being like, okay, well, it's 8 o'clock, and someone's like, you're going on. You're like, right now? La, 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 la. There are 2,000 people out there ready for you to go on, and they may not like you because they didn't pay to see you. It is horrible. I will never do it again.
Really?
Never again. Never again. It's for a certain type of mind, and I barely want to. No. I'm trying to keep my own self on 6. And you want me to learn where all these people go?
You're trying to avoid that flying couch on 3.
That's 4 couches now. No.
That's a lot. Wow.
I didn't like it. But what it did give me is a lot of time backstage to build the Broadway Advocacy Coalition. And I think because I was sitting idle, I was like, we need to do something. I'm going to gather everybody. Like, I think it made space for that. And it gave me a lot of time while the show was going on to like email people and really build. So I appreciate it for that. I will never again be a swing. And God bless any swing who's out there, because it is a hard, thankless job.
What's the difference between a swing and an understudy?
Okay, so an understudy typically covers one person. A swing will cover multiple.
I know how hard all of you work on Broadway, but that always is a bummer of a moment when you hear the announcement.
Yeah.
And the role of so-and-so will be played by so-and-so tonight.
The role of Beyonce will be played by
Not
Stephanie.
Beyonce.
You're just like, who? By Rebecca. I didn't come here for Rebecca. I came here for Beyonce. These tickets were so expensive. Oh, and it's cold outside. What? Yo. And you feel that. Imagine how that person feels when you're like, oh.
I can't.
Man.
I can't.
It's not easy.
All right, let's talk about your current music life. Britton and the Sting is the band that you lead right now. How did Britton and the Sting come together?
I was in a theater show called The Sting with Harry Connick Jr.
Based on the movie?
Based on the movie. They adapted the movie into a stage
And everybody knows
piece.
the theme song.
Oh, it's so good. There are 2 leads, Robert Redford and
Paul Newman?
Paul Newman. I was up for the Robert Redford role. They flew me out to meet Harry Connick, and we read together. It was great. I mean, like, it was a whole thing. I was like, this is my moment. Like, oh my God. And then they got back to my agent and were like, listen, we're going to go with Wayne Brady. But Britton can be the understudy. And I was like, oh man, I get it. I'm not famous. I'm doing good work.
Wait, I don't know who Wayne Brady is.
Wayne Brady? Oh my God.
Sorry. Apologies to Wayne Brady and everyone who
Wayne
loves
Brady,
him.
baby. I know you're listening to this. I love you, man. He was on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Quickly Googles Wayne
Do you know who
Brady.
Drew Carey is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in that whole freestyle comedy world. He's a little cheesy, but he's booked. You know what I'm saying? A little cheesy, but he booked.
Okay, became the host of TV Lands. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
Again, Wayne Brady, apologies.
Wayne Brady,
I know
we love
you're
you, baby.
a regular listener of Radio Cherry Bombe. I'm so sorry.
So they gave it to this dude. They were like, we're going to give it to Wayne Brady, but Britton, you can be the understudy. I was like, oh shit. Okay, you know what?
Is that a little knife in the heart, or?
Yeah, but it's also, it's like a knife and a come up, because you're like, now I'm in a point in my career where I'm understudying for famous people. Not because I can't do the work, but I'm not famous and they have to sell tickets. But they see that I can do the work. Cool. We do the show. It's also at a point where I'm like super into Buddhism. And so in Buddhism, they teach you to like line up your boats. And for me, that was like writing all these things that I'm like manifesting in my brain on note cards. So I'm at my altar, and one of the things on my altar says Britton and the Sting. But it was for me in this role. So then I booked the show. I'm doing it. I'm the understudy. Wayne Brady is actually not in it. They got somebody else, which pissed me off. But I've said yes to that contract, whatever. I do the show, and one night I'm out partying, and a taxi driver picks me up, and he tells me, can I see your palm? And I'm like, no. I was like, hey, you're falling asleep, man. Wake up, brother. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm going to be famous one day, so please don't crash. And we started laughing. And then he says, can I see your hand? I give him my palm. Carrie, I give this man my palm. He says, You've had a hard childhood. You've worked really hard to get where you are. You're going to have everything you want, but you're going to need protection because you're too open. And you need to figure out how to like do that, and you're not going to be able to. So you need somebody with you to protect you and keep you cool. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm newly married and like, wow, this is so great. Thank you. And then he says, what? You think I'm some regular taxi driver? Silence, silence, silence. Then he says, do you have a band? He didn't ask me, was I an actor? Was I a singer? Was I an artist? He said, do you have a band? And I start crying in this man's car because I know what he's saying. I have this music at home that no one's heard. He said, do you have a band? I said, no. He said, you need to start a band.
My jaw's on the floor.
And I went upstairs and I started a band. I went home, woke up my husband at the time, and I was like, Luca, this just happened. And he was like, yeah, start a band, man. And I called friends. I called Tiffany, who was in Be More Chill with me. And I literally was like, I'm starting a band. And it literally, for the last 10 years, has paid my rent. I've traveled. I've written music. It's just giving me, the actual me, in ways that like theater, you're pretending to be something the best of your ability. But like the band has helped me carve out my sound, my voice, my beliefs. It's created a community that feels like church. I mean, like it's truly, I feel like so blessed that this man literally gave me like a door. He was like, there's a door. You need to do
like
this.
Something out of a movie, like the universe spoke to you through that taxi driver.
Totally.
Unbelievable. Your new album just came out. It's called Return to Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Describe it for the listeners.
Oh, man. So sonically, it's a mix fusion between like rock, soul, gospel, and like a theater concept album, which is a lot of things, right? And it just holds all of these sounds that have inspired me. It's about the human connection to the spirit of water and the voice of water, which, as you know, I think we just forget how important water is. And I think that whatever created us gave us a little hint about how to sustain ourselves when whatever that thing is, gave us water. If you look at water as a teacher and a guide, it's a she for sure. It's a feminine element, energy that has a voice and a quality. And I just nerded out about it when we got this opportunity to write a new piece. And yeah, it's about the voice of water. And she's speaking through this band called Britton The Sting. All these things that we've forgotten about her, from the Ice Age to the depths of our oceanic floor, to do seals and ocean animals get anxious or jealous or strive to be better? Or was that an American dream curse? Are there animals out there in the sea hoping to be better than they were? Or is that something that we uniquely as land animals have to like suffer with?
Gosh, I hope we're the only ones afflicted by that.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's a thing. I don't know. I'm like, wow, how can I not think about being better tomorrow? It's so much a part of who I am and like how I was raised and like the American culture. And then in New York, and then as an artist, it's just like, there's just constant. And as a business owner, there's this constant, how do we? And I'm like, over there in the ocean, even the most powerful beings there, like a whale or a shark, are they trying to be better or are they just being?
Folks can listen on all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
How about your performing schedule? Where can people see you?
Our next show here, every year there's this thing called World Water Day. And we do a huge free concert on World Water Day. This year will be our second annual. It will be at the Judson Church near Washington Square Park, March 27th. And then we go on a tour, which starts in Texas and San Antonio, actually. The tour starts where I'm from, which it wasn't my choice.
I was going to say on purpose, but no.
No. We're going to 6 cities in the country that need the water the most, that are most vulnerable to water scarcity issues. And a family foundation saw me at this water conference and they were like, what's your dream? And I was like, I want to take this show around the country where people need to be celebrated for making sure people have access to water. And they were like, we've been looking for somebody who wanted to do that. And I was like, you have? The water has just been so abundant and so incredible. So San Antonio is one of those cities. And we start that in May.
How big's the band?
The band is 7 of us.
That's a big band.
It's insane. It's insane. It's too much. It's too much. It's nuts. I don't know that the taxi driver told me to start a band of 7. That was more me because I like the sound.
It's a lucky number, too.
Oh.
So there's that.
You've seen us.
Yeah, I have. I was going to say, when I saw you guys play, I loved because I knew in advance that you likened it to going to church. And I was like, okay, I got to see what this is all about. Sure enough, it was like, I mean, not like the boring church I went to, but it felt like a church of sorts.
I love that.
Why do you put that out there, that it's like church? Church is complicated for a lot of people.
It is, and it's not supposed to be. And so I think that's a part of my sacred disruptor self. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was just trying to start a band and put it out there. But as I began to gather and talk about the things that were going on in my own life, it felt like I was testifying. It felt like I was being vulnerable. People were like, yo, like what you just said about this felt so good. That's a word, man. Like, you're a pastor. People were telling me that it was this before I would do that. I come from a long line of pastors. My dad was a pastor. My grandfather was a pastor. My great-grandfather was a pastor and a sheriff. So it's been in my, you're going to be a pastor one day. And I've always rejected that because I'm like, I don't want to manipulate people. I'm fucking queer. I want to be free. And I don't see myself being a spiritual leader with all of these things. It also reclaims church as a space where it doesn't need doctrine. It doesn't need a Bible or belief system to feel like you're in a room where something bigger than you is dancing with you. So the club can feel like church. A restaurant where you're eating at a table and it's loud and everyone's just like free and connecting with this intention of like goodness. That's also church. But I think the powers that be have used church to control and to weaponize people's fears. People will get really afraid and need hope. And it's like, you want hope? You're afraid? Here's a product called the church. And if you give to us every Sunday, we will give you salvation. And if you stick with us, who knows? You may even die and go to a cloud full of joy. Just stick with us. What a business plan. It's actually smart and horrible.
Right. And that all the best times are going to be when you're dead and in heaven. I always thought that was kind of genius on their part, too.
Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've been questioning this since I was a kid. Like literally.
Same.
What do you mean? So there's Adam and Eve, and then they had sex with their kids. Britton, don't ask us. Like, I was just...
Wait, they did? I don't remember that
Well,
part.
If we really come from Adam and Eve, like, then they had 2 children, which were Cain and Abel, which is 2 boys. Then Eve had to get it in with her children.
God, don't come for me if you don't
Sorry,
agree with
Bombe.
this interpretation of the Bible by Britton.
Sorry, yeah, this is Britton's thoughts, not Terry Bombe's, not Carrie. This is Britton.
This is time for the disclaimer.
Yeah.
No.
Throw it in.
My version of that, I think I was 5th grade, 6th grade, going to Catholic school on Staten Island, and we were allowed to be altar girls. Like, they were training altar girls for the first time, and I was like, great, because all the boys in my class would get out of school to go be altar boys, and when they would do weddings, you know, like the best man would always give them like $20, and I'd wanted in on this racket, you know? So as soon as they
$20,
I wanted to get out of class and get $20. So as soon as they announced they were going to train altar girls, I was like, I'm in. So we went through weeks of training, right? And then the Archbishop for New York announced no altar girls. So right as we were about to make our debut, they like just ripped out the rug from underneath us. I was so mad. I don't think they really gave us a reason, but I was so mad I wrote a letter to the Archbishop, and one of his underlings wrote back to me, and I still have the letter. You know what? I'll find it and I'll put it on Instagram when this airs. And I said, I don't understand why there can't be altar girls. God and Jesus don't care for boys or girls. And the letter was something like, you're more or less correct, but there are so many other things women can do to serve the church. Wow. And at that age, I was like, I call bullshit, and my parents had to drag me to church after
How old were you?
I was in grammar school. It was like 5th or 6th grade.
That gives me so much hope.
I had a very highly tuned BS monitor back then.
There are other children who right now are like, what the I don't know. And when that needs to be like, please put that letter up.
I'll find it.
You're going to find so many people who are like, yo, me too. And it's been hard for me to find my home. Also, what the Sting does is there are many people out here who have been like, yo, I stopped going to church when I was 10. And this feels like what I've always wanted. This is actually the church I always wanted because it's no bullshit. It's about the truth and music as a way to like link us together and higher. Mm-hmm. So It's a church I always wanted. You can come to my church anytime.
Thank you.
And you can be an altar girl, altar woman, or altar, whatever you want to be on that altar, Carrie.
Thank you. I do think if my church had had more music, I might have been lured back more easily. The whole like rock thing in churches back then passed right by my church.
My church was rocking. Woo! My church was rocking. We had like whole music festivals and conferences, and it was rocking. Incredible musicians, incredible singers.
No, we didn't have
hitting it.
If they had turned all those hymns into rock songs, I might, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have been as pissed off.
Yeah. Well, you probably would have been pissed off still. Yeah.
What am I saying? There's no way. Maybe would have made that 1 hour mass a little bit more interesting.
It would have been definitely more interesting.
All right. How can people find out what Britton and the Sting are up to and where they can see them?
Obviously on Instagram, Britton Smith World, Britton Smith World. Also, we have a Britton and the Sting, AND, The Sting, as in bee sting. And then we have a website, BrittonandTheSting.com.
Great.
Yeah.
And Britton's such a unique name. I never asked you how you wound up with that name.
My mom told me she saw an actress on TV and it was her last name. And I thought, Connie Britton? And she was like, I don't think so.
Huh.
End of story.
Very cool.
I know.
We didn't talk about food. Do you cook?
I do cook.
What's your specialty?
I'm more like a protein, veggie, rice kind of guy. It's going to taste good, but it's not exciting. It's good. People be like, this is good. It's a little mushy. It's a little like elevated camp. We're going to go on a campfire and we only have a few ingredients, but it's going to taste good.
Well, you look good and you've kept yourself alive, so apparently you're doing something right.
Thank you. I'm trying to eat healthier. Definitely.
Are you doing more protein like everybody?
More
now?
protein. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like everybody? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok, but from what I've heard,
I see a lot of protein.
There's like a whole protein
now.
Talk thing. There's protein in everything now.
Yeah. Protein is good. Veggies are good. Juices are good.
All those things are good. Like many actors, you spent your time working in restaurants.
I did.
When did that start?
Right out of college, I was catering, which is honestly nice, but it's also a hustle because you really got to get in good with a good catering person. And if you can find a good catering gig, it can be very lucrative. I just always hated catering with people I wanted to work with. I'm like, oh my God, that's that director. God dang it. I don't want to give him a pig in a blanket. I want to sing for him. It was very hard for my ego.
Sounds like a scene from Heated Rivalry. Did you watch Heated Rivalry?
Honey, did I?
That's the dumbest question I ever asked anyone.
That's another question.
Of course you watched Heated Rivalry, but he's a cater waiter.
Oh, Kip. What
Sweet
a cutie.
Kip.
But he got his man at the end.
He got his man.
He got his man
Best
in front
5
of
minutes
everybody.
in television.
It was so good. When he came down on the ice.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Wait, we got to announce a few spoiler alerts, people.
Sorry.
Spoiler alerts. I mean, if you don't know it by now.
What are you doing?
But those last 5 minutes of episode 5, I think I watched 10 times.
No.
You didn't?
Interesting. Really?
Uh-huh.
I thought this was more, I for sure was like, oh, so many gay men are going to watch this. But actually, a lot of women are like, yo, this show, it makes me wonder a lot of questions that maybe shouldn't be asked on this podcast about what else are y'all watching. Ladies like the gay love. Okay. I love it.
Well, I think it was so refreshing on so many levels. It's all heteronormative.
Yeah.
So it was nice not to see that. And it was the male gaze, but different from what we've been subjected to for so long.
Also, women are so much more, or I imagine, be more aware of toxic masculinity than even a man who is like woke. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
You're experiencing it different. So to watch it melt is probably also romantic and euphoric and a release and like, oh wow, look at these two masculine beings soften and become more of who they are.
It's also, they're so good looking.
What the
I'll
fuck?
be honest.
What the hell?
And the second thing, it was so romantic.
It was romantic. I wish there was somebody black on the show.
I know.
What the heck?
I don't know.
But
Is
I
it
think
a
I
Canada
think it's
thing?
also strategic that nobody was too.
How so?
Because the extremes, if you really want to have a comment or a critique on masculinity, you need to put it in the widest, most hockeyest, most male, most aggressive, like to really critique and feel something, you need to put it on the extreme. And so if it's that extreme, then I think you witness it in a different way because everyone else can comment on the extreme, because that's just like too extreme. But it gets you a part of the conversation, and it helps everybody who's not that look at that. And so the conversation becomes broader, though with that
you're a
big
much
specificity.
deeper thinker than I am, Britton Smith. I think my deepest thought would have been...
But...
I was going to say, how many squats does somebody have to do to get a butt like that?
A butt like that is crazy. I know. It inspired us all.
That was my deepest thought. I hate to admit it. But episode 5, those last 5 minutes, really remarkable television.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, wait. But that's how we met. Restaurants. At Seersucker. I was co-owner of Seersucker and did a lot of other things there. And
Wow.
You started working there one day.
Mm-hmm. I actually met you guys catering.
You did?
I was catering some event, and I think Seersucker was one of the vendors. And we started talking, and I was like, you guys have a restaurant? Looking for somebody? And somehow you guys were like, you should come work for us. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Seersucker, man. Wow. Loved it.
Oh,
had a great time. And
it was a moment.
It was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious food, cool people, hardworking, and just, yeah, I had a good time.
You were such a bright light. I remember that.
Aw.
Yeah. The
Wow.
servers make all the difference.
Yeah. And I felt like I wasn't pressured to be any other server than I could be. And because it was like a Southern thing,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Rob, your co-owner, was very into my Southernness in the space.
Cool.
And like, go be Southern. Go talk to them. Go charm them. Go get them. Make a good tip and get out of here.
Oh. How do you feel about pooling tips?
Worth it. Worth it. Yeah, because it makes you feel like we have to all win together. And no one's going to watch you fail because we just all have to work together.
That's great. Because I have talked to some servers, former servers, who are like, hell no. I earn what I earn.
I tend to like especially if you're met with people who also have that thing. If you can find people who are like, hey, you guys, you 4 of you need to align. And if all 4 of us are like into that, then it works.
All right, let's do a speed round. What beverage do you start your day with?
Coffee.
How do you take it?
Black with stepmom milk. What's it called? The like flavored milk, which is horrible. It's like a flavored milk.
The stepmom milk.
It's stepmom milk. Totally.
Oh my God, like the hazelnut flavors and things like that. Oh my God, that stuff's repulsive.
It's so bad, but it is the best.
Watch, they're going to want to sponsor Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'll have to go back on that. But sometimes when you're in the mood for it, I'll say that much. But I think I'm in the mood for that
vanilla,
once a year.
I like a vanilla, like a French vanilla milk. That's disgusting, but I need it every morning. Every morning.
You just revealed yourself to be a tiny bit basic.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like a little bit of basic morning. It just feels right.
Do you use cookbooks ever?
You know, I was dating a guy once, and he was really into it, and I thought it was fun, but no.
Okay. What's your most used kitchen tool?
Skillet.
What's always in your fridge?
Stepmom milk. Stepmom milk is always in my fridge. And eggs. Stepmom milk and eggs.
Oh my God. What's your favorite snack food?
Mango slices.
What are you streaming right now on TV? Since you've already watched Rivalry.
Right now I'm streaming The Pit.
Do I need to watch it?
I would say yeah.
I mean, that lead guy's super cute. Noah. See, I don't know. I need to know actors.
If you need a show to both get into, now Heated Rivalry, I would pause if I need to use restroom or do anything. This, I can watch it, keep it on while I'm doing laundry, keep it on but I'm really into it. I think it's good. Heated Rivalry had me locked. And so if you're looking for a locked thing, it's not going to be it personally, but I like it. I'm watching it.
Okay. You reading anything right now?
A lot of plays, yeah. I'm taking a playwriting class, and so part of what we have to do every Tuesday is read these readings. So I'm getting all these excerpts from like playwrights, and so I'm reading a lot of that.
Oh, I'm excited about this.
It's a new thing for me. I'm writing music more. I'm also writing for the theater more, which feels good. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, let me also see if let me try to see if this muscle flex over here too. So that's feeling good.
This is so exciting. You're such an artist.
I'm an artist.
Who are you listening to these days?
McGee. Oh my goodness. I'm always listening to Marvin Gaye. I'm also often listening to talks. I like interviews. Like I'll listen to a James Baldwin interview with Nikki Giovanni and just have it on in the mornings. Or like some spiritual teacher that gets possessed by an alter ego and just put it on. I like talks a lot. It informs my like writing process.
Dream travel destination?
Japan. I want to go to Japan.
I think like 90% of the guests say that. And
Really?
I'm the same. I would
been?
love to go. No.
Oh.
Because I feel like you need a big chunk of time to go to Japan, and I just haven't. I want to go there when I am free mentally and physically and all the things.
It just seems like a sweet breath of adventure, and like it just seems so valuable. Something about it just feels so worth that time.
And a culture so different from ours. Favorite food film?
Soul Food.
Good one.
Oh my God. Soul Food, so good. Oh my God. Way to like really encapsulate the Black Sunday after church meal experience. The drama, the table, the food, the placemat, the grandmother matriarch spending all this time to like gather food as medicine. Whoa.
You've given us all this good stuff. I feel like people are going to be taking notes all through this episode. All right, my friend, final question. If you had to be trapped on a desert island with one food celebrity, who would it be and why?
No, I thought about this. If I'm on a deserted island, who would be able to like make me some like good food based on what's out there? And my first thought, which I'm a little embarrassed by, was Paula Deen. Paula would find a way to get butter. She would find a way to fry up something. But I'm not sure that I want to talk with her. You know what I mean? She's problematic as hell.
You might have to be on opposite sides of the island and just come together at mealtime.
Until mealtime. You know what I mean? There's a chef, husband and wife in Brooklyn, and I think they have a place now called Comodo. Tammy and Felipe. They have a place in Brooklyn called Colonia Verde.
Colonia Verde, yeah.
Wow. So good. I want to be on an island with them. I feel like they already are cooking from a place mentally and emotionally from an island, and their food is amazing. I used to work with them, so I know them too. So I'm like, they're cool. Their food is delicious. They're going to know what to do. They're going to know how to kill things and grill them. He's a grill master. It's them.
Wait, that's so crazy that you mentioned them, because in, when was this? End of July, I was so fortunate to be invited to this event at the Public Theater. It was the 10th anniversary of Hamilton, and it was a dinner that Colonia Verde did on the stage at the Public. The whole stage had been in storage. They took the original stage out of storage, set it up again. We had dinner on the stage.
At the Public Theater?
At the Public Theater. Lin-Manuel did a Q&A. Lin's about to be interviewed, and he said, I would like, two people to join me, Renee Goldsberry and Leslie Odom Jr. And everybody was just like, what is going on? And they came out on stage, and then they did the Q&A, and they sang.
They sang.
I just thought I could be run over by a New York City bus after this.
Somebody bus me. Bus me. Bus me. This is crazy.
I was like, what? Life is just not going to get better than this.
Wow. And the food was incredible.
The food was unbelievable. Yep. And they had to cook backstage. I mean, I'm sure they made a lot of it back at the restaurant, but they had to finish it backstage, serve it on stage, and it was still spectacular.
Also, the Public has a nice kitchen.
That's true. They have a restaurant
because
there.
They have a restaurant upstairs and the Joe's Pub. We can get a full. But wow, Felipe and Tammy are great. They have another restaurant in the city now called Comodo.
We should have them on the show.
Have them on the show.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Have them on the show.
I'll give you credit.
Thank you. Britton. Oh yes, of course, Britton. But it'll make me seem so cool. Yeah,
you are so cool.
Do that, please. Make me seem so cool.
You are so cool, and you are the bomb.
Thank you.
Thank you for schlepping in here and coming on a lady food podcast.
This is so good. A lady food podcast is amazing. I love the ladies. No, it's so good. It's so good. And thank you for letting me talk about the album and the beginnings and be nerdy about it.
Super proud of everything you've done. And everybody check out Britton and the Sting. And if they're coming to a city near you, you should definitely go see them. All right, my friend. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to Britton Smith for joining me. Don't forget, the new album from Britton and the Sting, Return to Mama, is out now. And they have a free concert happening Friday, March 27th in New York City. The ticket link is in our show notes. And by the way, thank you to Chase Sapphire for inviting me to that 10th anniversary Hamilton event at the Public Theater. What an incredibly memorable evening. Our theme song is by the band Cha La La. Joseph Hazen is a studio engineer at Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Jenna Sadu. Our executive assistant is Bridget Pittman, and our head of partnerships is Rachel Close. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the bomb.